She shattered your heart, left you feeling as though you were insignificant, and made you question everything. Perhaps she ghosted you, replaced you, or acted as if you were nothing more than a casual option. Yet now she reappears, attempting to rekindle what she once ruined. But why? What compels a woman to return after inflicting so much pain? And more importantly, how should you respond? If you mishandle it, you risk falling back into the very trap that ensnared you before. However, if you respond correctly, you can completely reverse the situation. At first glance, it seems paradoxical. If she truly cared, why would she walk away, hurt you, set you aside, or behave as if she never cared at all? The truth is, women don't always leave because they've entirely lost attraction or interest. Sometimes their departure is driven by an internal emotional conflict, a turmoil that forces them to step back, even when deep down they don't want to. One of the main reasons women pull away is emotional overwhelm. Unlike men, who often compartmentalize their feelings, women experience emotions in surging waves. When a relationship becomes too intense, when she's unsure about her feelings or conflicted about where the relationship is headed, her initial impulse might be to distance herself. This doesn't necessarily mean she's finished with you. It simply indicates that she's struggling to process her emotions and that withdrawing seems like the easiest way to regain control. Then there is the allure of seemingly better options. In today's world, women are constantly bombarded by external influences. Social media, attention from other men, and the seductive notion that something more exciting might be waiting just around the corner. If a woman starts to believe she can do better, or that staying with you means missing out on something superior, she might leave. Not because her feelings have completely vanished, but because she is chasing the illusion of a more exhilarating possibility. Another significant factor is the shift in power dynamics within the relationship. At some point, if she felt she had complete control, that she could have you no matter what, her respect for you might begin to wane. The moment a woman senses that she wields too much power over you, her attraction can diminish. Women often crave a challenge. They desire a man who commands respect, whom they admire and feel fortunate to have. If you become overly predictable, too readily available, or excessively dependent on her validation, she may subconsciously start to lose interest, even if a part of her still cares for you. Now here's where things get particularly intriguing. Many times when a woman leaves, it's not because she is absolutely certain she wants to be without you. It's because she wants to observe your reaction. She's curious. Will you pursue her? Will you beg for her return? Will you act as though you can't live without her? Responding in such a desperate manner only confirms her decision to leave. Conversely, if you remain calm, indifferent, and unaffected, it begins to unsettle her. She starts wondering if she made a mistake. Women sometimes step away not because their feelings have evaporated, but to create an emotional contrast that tests how much they truly desire you. And that is precisely why many eventually come back. So what exactly triggers that return? What shifts within her that causes her to suddenly question her decision? Initially, when she decided to leave, she was confident, perhaps even convinced herself that she no longer needed you. Yet over time, something unexpected happens. The very reasons she used to justify her departure begin to work against her, and she finds herself irresistibly drawn back to you. One of the strongest triggers for her return is the fear of permanently losing you. When she left, she assumed you would remain there, that if she ever changed her mind, you'd welcome her with open arms. But then reality sets in. She notices that you aren't chasing her, aren't begging, and aren't idly waiting around. This lack of desperate attention creates panic in her mind because it shatters her perceived sense of control. The moment a woman feels she's lost her power over you, she craves it back. Then there's nostalgia. Time has a peculiar way of softening the memory of the negative, the conflicts, the boredom, the doubts, and emphasizing the positive, the way you made her feel, the joyous moments, the emotional highs. As time passes and you're absent, she begins to realize that life without you isn't as satisfying as she once imagined. Another potent trigger is comparison. Often, a woman might leave believing she can find someone better. However, more often than not, she soon discovers that those new prospects don't treat her the same way, don't challenge her emotionally, or lack the depth, energy, or chemistry that you shared. The more she compares, the more she starts to miss what she had with you. Yet the most powerful trigger is your silence. When you vanish completely, no texts, no check-ins, no emotional responses, you create an aura of mystery. Mystery is one of the most compelling psychological forces in attraction. When a woman can't decipher your actions, she becomes obsessed, wondering why you haven't reached out, whether you've moved on, or if you even care. The more unanswered questions linger, the more she is driven to find out. Eventually, all these triggers converge, and she feels an overwhelming emotional pull to return. However, this is where most men falter. They see her return as a sign that everything is back to normal, and they repeat the same mistakes that once drove her away. If you want to truly regain control, you need to be aware of what not to do when she comes back. The moment she reaches out, many men make the same critical errors that instantly shift the power back into her hands. They assume her return means she's ready to resume the relationship as if nothing had happened, that she has realized her mistake, and that everything will revert to the old ways. But that is far from the truth. If you don't manage the situation correctly, she'll leave again, this time with even greater certainty. The biggest mistake is forgiving too easily. The instant she makes contact, many men respond immediately, acting as though nothing occurred, showering her with attention, validation, and warmth, in an effort to secure her return. This behavior only confirms her assumption that you were always waiting for her. It signals that you're willing to overlook her actions, allowing her to believe she can walk away, ignore you, or disrespect you, and you'll still be there ready to accept her back the moment she changes her mind. As a result, she loses respect for you. She may stick around for a while merely to reassure herself that she still holds power. Another pitfall is providing too many answers. When a woman returns, it's often because she's uncertain and wants to know where you stand, if you've moved on, or if you still desire her. However, weak men immediately lay everything out. They confess how much they missed her, how difficult life has been without her, and that she can always have them back. The instant you do this, the mystery vanishes. The very allure that compelled her return evaporates. Similarly, seeking explanations or closure is another self-sabotaging move. Demanding to know why she left, what she was thinking, or if she was seeing someone else, only forces her into a defensive position, pushing her further away. Her reasons might be unclear even to herself. What matters is how you respond in the present. If you appear overly emotional or desperate for closure, she will perceive it as a weakness, a mistake that can instantly destroy any remaining attraction. Some men try to punish her for leaving by reacting with overt coldness, ignoring her messages for extended periods, engaging in passive-aggressive behavior, or attempting to incite jealousy. Such actions stem from insecurity, and women can sense that instantly. True strength isn't demonstrated by pretending not to care. It comes from an authentic understanding of your self-worth and remaining unfazed by her presence. To handle her return correctly, you must remain in control. You need to ensure she understands that re-entering your life is not as effortless as she assumed. When she makes her move, don't rush to engage. Instead of responding immediately, as weak men tend to do, allow some time to pass. This delay isn't a childish game or an act of punishment. It's a natural reflection of your evolved mindset. She left, and during her absence, you've built a life that doesn't revolve around her. Let that reality be felt. When you finally reply, keep your emotions firmly in check. No anger, no overt excitement, no desperate eagerness. Maintain a neutral, confident tone. Although she might expect some form of emotional reaction, whether hostility or warmth, meeting her with calm indifference unsettles her. It forces her to question whether she still has a place in your world, and that's precisely what you want. Next, shift the dynamic. When a woman departs and later returns, she often assumes she holds the reins, that you'll be relieved, grateful, or eager to prove your worth again. Instead, turn the tables by making her feel as though she must earn her way back. Rather than reassuring her that everything is as it was, challenge her subtly. For instance, say something like, "I wasn't expecting to hear from you. What's on your mind?" This puts her on the spot, compelling her to explain herself instead of allowing you to chase after her for answers. Furthermore, maintain your independence. If she believes she can effortlessly slip back into your life, she won't truly value you. Women respect men who have their own options, men who move forward and don't dwell on the past. When she returns, make sure your life is visibly enriched with new goals, habits, and perhaps even new people. If she asks about your time away, share your progress without making it all about her absence. This subtle display of growth reinforces that your world didn't stop when she left, and that she must now work to earn her place once more. Finally, establish clear boundaries. Just because she's back doesn't mean she gets to pick up where she left off. If she caused you pain, trust must be rebuilt with time and effort. Be firm, yet not cold. If she tries to manipulate or test your patience by keeping things vague, don't tolerate it. You might say, "I'm not interested in repeating the past. If you're back, I need to know what you're really looking for." This forces her to clarify her intentions. Many men falter by reacting emotionally when a woman returns. They become either too eager or overly bitter, both of which reveal weakness. The right approach is to remain composed, hold onto your value, and make it clear that she must prove herself anew. Once you've maintained your composure, re-established your worth, and positioned her in a place where she must demonstrate genuine change, the critical question arises: should you take her back? This is where most men err. They assume that her return signals a return to normalcy, yet nothing has been truly resolved. Her coming back does not automatically mean she respects your desires or regrets her actions. Often, a woman returns simply because she feels lonely. Her rebound failed, or she just wants to check if you're still an option. That's why your decision must be guided by logic rather than raw emotion. First, analyze why she left. If she walked away because she was bored, sought excitement, or believed she could do better, be cautious. A woman who leaves for such reasons is likely to do it again once the thrill fades. However, if her departure was rooted in immaturity, a fear of commitment, or external pressures, and if she has clearly grown since, then perhaps there's a foundation on which to rebuild. Next, observe her actions, not just her words. A woman will always tell you what you want to hear when she's attempting to return. She'll say she missed you, that she recognizes her mistake, that she now values you more than ever. But words alone aren't enough. Her actions must prove it. Is she making a genuine effort, or is she simply expecting everything to revert to how it once was? Is she consistent, or does she disappear once she feels comfortable again? Her behavior over time will reveal the truth. Finally, consider your own feelings. One of the biggest errors men make is taking a woman back simply because they miss her, even when her presence no longer brings peace. If her return brings along stress, insecurity, or a constant fear that she might leave again. It's not worth sacrificing your well-being. A woman who truly values you will bring stability rather than emotional turmoil. Now, let's discuss the power of walking away for good. Sometimes, the strongest move is to allow her return, only to ultimately reject her. This isn't about revenge or pride. It's about self-respect. If you recognize that her return is driven by selfish motives rather than sincere regret or personal growth, don't entertain it. When a woman realizes you aren't merely a backup plan, that you're a man with standards who won't tolerate being treated as an option, she will end up respecting you more, even if it means she ends up hating you for it. In the end, the final decision comes down to one simple question. Does she add to your life, or does she subtract from it? If her presence brings peace, consistency, and genuine effort, perhaps she's worth another chance. But if her return is marked by mixed signals, confusion, and uncertainty, then she's only back to waste your time. The strongest men don't let a woman's return dictate their future. They choose their path based on logic, self-respect, and the life they want to build. That is the mindset that makes you truly powerful. Now, consider your next move with care, for your reaction in this critical moment will determine whether you regain control, maintain your respect, and possibly rebuild the attraction, or if you fall back into an endless cycle of emotional manipulation.